Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for a moment of silence to not only remember our troops serving our countries overseas, but all those lost to COVID-19 and their families. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please have a seat.
Notice requirements of the Open Public Meeting Law have been satisfied concerning this meeting. The Home News Tribune and the Star Ledger published the original notice on December 20th, 2019, which was amended on June 5th, 2020. It was posted on the municipal bulletin board as in the website, and it should be so noted in the minutes of this meeting. Councilman Spiller.
Here.
Councilman Ficarra.
Here.
Councilwoman Meehan.
Here.
Councilwoman Drum. Councilman Patel.
Here.
Councilman Anderson.
Here.
Councilman Bauer.
Here.
Vice President Small.
Here.
And President De Jesus.
Here.
Can I get a motion to approve the minutes from August 18th?
Motion.
Second. Any questions or comments from council? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Under ordinances this evening, there are no second reading ordinances. Under first reading ordinances, you have letters A, B, and C. Can I get a motion to pass these three ordinances on first reading, published in the Home News Tribune on September 4th, 2020, with notice of public hearing to be held on September 22nd, 2020 at 6 p.m.
Motion.
Second. Any questions or comments from council?
Mr. Mitch,
Yes, sir.
I'll be abstaining on letter A, please.
Mr. Mitch, I'll be abstaining on letter A as well, please.
So noted. Any other comments? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Resolutions this evening. Bear with me one moment. You have 1 through 55. If I can get a motion to approve them by consent, 1 through 55, and please take note specifically of probably resolution number 50. If it applies, please let me know that you'll be abstaining.
Motion.
Second, any questions or comments?
Mr. Mitch,
Yes, sir.
I'll be abstaining from number 50, please.
So noted. Any other comments? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. That's it, Madam President.
We will now move to the public portion of the meeting. Please approach the microphone if you would like. State the area of the township you live in, and there is a one-time 5-minute time period.
Are there any comments from the public this evening? I'm sorry, sir? Yes, sir.
My name is Jabran Abdulhai, and I'm affiliated with the Woodbridge for Liberation and Equity. It's a circle. We go through the motions and end up back here, and the cycle repeats. So it goes. While I understand the council's justification for the disconnect between our demands and any action taken, specifically that our organization moves faster than the government could, I believe it's an inherently problematic excuse. Yes, democracy is made to be somewhat inefficient by design, so that no one or more bad actors could seize control of the government, hopefully. But at the same time, a democratic government is made to be a living, breathing institution that responds to the times and the needs of its people. If it cannot do this, then it has begun to fail at its basic functions. And while it could be argued that change is coming just slower than we thought, that's not adequate, because while the government can afford to bide its time on this matter, Black residents of Woodbridge cannot. For us, the status quo applies to us now. And every day the government chooses inaction over duty is another day that we must live under the current unjust status quo. In essence, you can afford to wait. We can't. And for that reason, the speed at which the council has responded to our demands week after week is simply unacceptable. When you consider the fact that lives and livelihoods are on the line every day, and many, including myself, know someone personally affected by racial injustice and law enforcement, action and ineptitude are inexcusable and irrational responses. We have been engaging with our local government for 3 months in the way that it's supposed to be done, yet we have yet to see an iota of progress in Woodbridge. The line outside painted is a pathetic reminder of this. We have been steadfast yet patient in our efforts, so it is long past due for the council to respond to the needs of its Black residents. The only question is, will you?
Thank you.
Are there any other comments from the public this evening?
There is for me. I want to go last because I want to record the people going up, so.
Sir, I think you're the only one who's ready to speak. Any other comments this evening from the public?
Good evening, everyone. Jimmy Dabrowski, Woodbridge proper. Nothing prepared tonight. I usually have a statement. I practice it, make sure it's under 5 minutes. I read it very fast to try to get as much info in as I can, but that's proven to be very ineffective. Last night at the Human Rights Commission, we had no time limit. I got to speak freely, had some engagement, interaction. It was great. I want to thank Councilman Ficarra, Councilman Anderson for showing up. I'd like to invite the rest of the council and our mayor, who I see is absent again, to our next meeting to take some interest in what the commission is supposedly supposed to be doing, charged with doing, recommending things to you to make our town more inclusive, more equitable, and anti-racist. Yeah, the mayor, he's not here. I know he's at the Woodbridge High School music concert, spreading that best town around propaganda. But we learned last night, shame on me for not knowing this is a Faulkner Act local governance, where it's a strong mayor, weak council. So if that's the case, where is he then? If he's the one with all the power, where is he? Why is he not making an effort to be here? But he can be at the music concerts. But he can be at the swearing in of 5 new white cops and tell them it's a tough time to be a police officer now. It's not a tough time to be a black person in America. He'll never say Black Lives Matter. Maybe only 1 or 2 of you up there will say it. And it's shameful and it's hurtful. Thankfully, the Human Rights Commission, they will. And I hope the mayor made a big mistake choosing them, which they admitted they were all handpicked by him. You told me they were all hand-selected by him. And we know why, in hopes that they won't challenge him, they won't hold him accountable. But they assured us that that's their job, they're going to do it. They're not going to be just yes people like you all have proven to be. And I'm sorry if that offends you, but that's the truth. Stand up to him and prove me wrong then. Challenge the mayor on one issue and prove me wrong. Regardless of the Faulkner Act that gives him more power. Challenge him on one thing. I see the blue line is now teal, right, for Ovarian Cancer Awareness Month?
Yes.
Great. Okay, what if somebody says, oh, what about testicular cancer? All cancers matter. Well, what's going to happen in October then? Does it get changed to what?
We'll wait to see in October.
Wait to see. Or is it going to be back to Blue Lives Matter again year-round?
We'll wait to see in October.
What are we going to do for our black residents? Anything? Anything at all? Anything? The Woodbridge Youth for Liberation and Equity have asked to work with you and the mayor. Instead, there's a buffer commission that they're supposed to work through that are making it very clear they just want to give them the runaround. Oh, you should ask this person, you should ask that person. You should go ask the police chief. No, they want to work with you to get these anti-racist systemic policies in place that will help our community be better for everyone, the best town around for all residents, undocumented residents, black residents, LGBTQ plus residents. And I would think you'd all be on board for that. Why not? Because the mayor doesn't want to piss off half the town. He made it clear. He's got to get reelected, right? If that's all you care about, then shame on you and shame on him. I'm speaking from the bottom of my heart right now. I care about everybody in this room, even this guy. Believe it or not, I really do. I don't hate anyone. I hate our racist system of white supremacy, indeed. I want it to be dismantled so everybody can thrive, not just survive, but thrive. But we gotta wake up and get on board and do better. We can't just keep getting offended because we get criticized or get feedback. I started off very polite with the emails in December. And yes, I got frustrated. How else should I feel being ignored, dismissed? How else should our students feel being ignored and dismissed? Grateful? No, I think we're done being nice and polite. It's time we're going to start, yes, demanding. These aren't grievances, these are demands. I'm going to take my full time because I'm going to keep showing up. I know you're banking on us eventually getting frustrated and giving up. We'll never give up. This is our town too, and we're going to keep standing up for what's right and keep holding you accountable to do your jobs to serve us, which you've been elected to do. And same with the mayor. And I don't want to wait 3 years to get him out and get somebody in who has a conscience and who has a backbone. We want to start right now. Anybody want to say anything? You can take the rest of my time. Not you. Anybody on the council?
I do have a rebuttal.
Please
No,
don't take
you
my
don't.
time.
We're not doing that. Everyone has a right to their 5 minutes, and that's your time.
Thank you for making him remove his Confederate battle flag, by the way, which is disgusting and shameful. It matches his hat perfectly, his MAGA hat, for those who can't see on the cameras at home. And this guy's supporting you, ignoring us. He's supporting you, shutting us down. That should make you upset. He's on your side. Tom Maris is on your side.
Your 5 minutes are up. Thank you.
Thank you.
Can you give me a hug, Jimmy? I want to go next.
Are there any other comments from the public this
Yes,
evening?
there is. Yes, there is.
Are you going next, or are you going to continue to record?
Huh?
Are you going to go next, or are you going to stay at the recording session?
No, I'm going to record too.
Okay.
You're going to record me while I speak. Don't start my time until I'm recognized. That's the rules. And Jimmy won the Faulkner Act because of me.
So before we start your time, let me remind you that we are going to be respectful of one another. Everyone can have differences of opinion, but we're going to be respectful of one another.
I always respect you, Miss Lisbeth Jesus. That's why I brought some flowers. I'm tired of
Your time is starting.
No. By law, I have to say my name and then I'm recognized. So restart. Wait for me to say my name. Cristo, Middlesex County. Start my time. My time starts now. All right. Councilman Kyle Anderson, the county superintendent of schools, said if I want to speak about the destruction of Lincoln Annex School, to go speak to the freeholders. Of course, this coward with zero integrity wants to hide from this issue, the same way he ignores the students and the parents. I spoke to the freeholders several times, along with the Middlesex County Improvement Authority, the New Brunswick Board of Education, along with New Brunswick's planning and zoning boards and town council. So now I'm here in Woodbridge to confront the Middlesex County Superintendent of Schools, the racist who wants to destroy Lincoln Annex School, the highest performing school in the district, an all-minority Hispanic school, and place Hispanic kids in a warehouse, then later place them on contaminated property where the kid can develop cancer. Kyle Anderson is not just another puppet of the Woodbridge Democratic Mafia. He's also a puppet of Middlesex County Democratic Organization Chair Kevin McCabe and Middlesex County Democratic Organization political operative Jack Morris. I want to say God bless to the Woodbridge resident Robert Hamel, a Vietnam vet and a member of the Woodbridge Post of the American Legion. He installed these flags after September 11th. He announced a few months ago he was moving to South Carolina and would be removing the flags. A few people in town offered to keep his work up, and he gave them his blessings to keep the flags up. Jimmy Dabrowski, the racist teacher, complained to the Turnpike Authority when they put up a thin blue line flag. Why does Jimmy Dabrowski constantly scream at the first Latina councilwoman, who I strongly support because she's a very powerful woman, and she don't take nothing from nobody. I do support her, and I'm proud to support you. Why does Jimmy's wife, his wife claims to be against racism? She's the biggest racist herself. Why does Jimmy Dabrowski's wife work for a university named after a slave owner? That's the real question. I'd really like to know that one. Councilman Kyle Anderson and Jimmy Dabrowski are phonies and promote institutionalized racism. For example, the Democrat Party. Make sure this November 3rd, vote for Trump and Cristo, the only two who keep on winning in everything we do. Vote for me, Edison Board of Education. I'm not telling you I'm being recorded and people are going to see this later anyways. I want to apologize to Councilman Spillar. I was wrong in the last meeting. He didn't take a photo with the domestic terrorist named Forrest Ballard. Forrest Ballard wanted Councilman Spillar fired when he saw a photo of Spillar graduating from a police academy. The racist white boy, Jimmy Dabrowski, got a dispatcher fired for a constitutionally protected activity. This is anti-American trash that we're dealing with. That's what we're talking about here. Hey, Councilman Anderson, you weren't here the last two times because you don't like to show up to work. I'm here today. Would you like to answer any of the comments that I had? Or you want to just give me a card and ignore any questions I have in the future? You're going to stay silent?
Are you asking me to use some of your time?
No, you can speak after me while you want to put kids on contaminated property. I will now take
No.
out St. Andrew's flag because this represents Nova Rosia, who the Democratic Party gave $6 billion tax dollars
Okay, you're
to
disrupting the
overthrow
meeting right now. You're
democratically
disrupting the meeting.
elected government
You're
in
disrupting the
Ukraine.
meeting.
Huh?
You're disrupting the meeting.
No, I'm not.
And
no, I'm not.
You are
I'd like
disrupting
to
the
just
meeting.
stop my time.
We have an ordinance that we don't
I'm
allow
on
any
the
flags
line
in our
over
council
here with the
meetings.
Democratic Party
And they
supporting
asked you
these
to remove it, and then
neo-Nazis
you went and put it
to
back
overthrow
on.
democratically
You
elected
just disrupted our
government in
meeting.
Ukraine. And Jimmy Dabrowski supports those terrorists that shot down Malaysia Airlines. So I'm gonna keep, this isn't the Confederate battle flag for me. You remove the stars, it becomes, first of all, it's St. Andrew's flag, and it's also the flag of Nova Russia. But the real reason I'm wearing it is because people like him got all the flags removed, so if they don't, and I knew he would get triggered with this flag and this. I don't support the Confederacy at all, but it's my right to walk in here with it.
Mr. Dabrowski, you cannot record from your seat. If you want to
That's
record,
right,
you
he
can go
cannot
to the seat.
record from his seat. That's right.
And you know that.
And I brought some flowers today to give to the most powerful woman in Woodbridge, the first Latina councilwoman, Miss Lisbeth de Jesus. I was going to give her one, but she refused it. And I was going to give her one because check out that hair. It's real shiny. She took some time, the same way you look good, and you took time to look good and come here. Would you like to accept the flowers I got, Miss Lisbeth? Put the camera on her. Would you like to accept the flowers, Miss Lisbeth de Jesus?
Thank you for the gesture, but if you want to leave flowers, you can leave it in the back table.
And you'll accept them?
I said thank you for the gesture.
Now put the camera on that coward, Councilman Anderson over there.
Time is
Hey
up.
Anderson, why do you want to take?
Okay, your time is up. Your time is up. Do you want to be escorted out of council chambers?
No, Lozman versus Riviera. Put the camera back on me. Lozman versus Riviera Beach,
Your
Florida.
time is
Supreme
up,
Court
though.
ruling.
Your time is up, and you're disrupting the council meeting.
I'm not being disrupted at all. Actually, my time is
Your
up.
time is up, and we're going to continue.
Are there any other comments from the public this evening?
I'm not putting the phone.
We're going to continue with our council meeting. It is offensive. We told him to take it off. He took it back out. I can't forcefully go over there and remove it.
Can't they just remove him if that's illegal?
They
Just a
can, and I'm
question.
going to sue Woodbridge Township.
He was removed for coughing expletives on February 18th.
Okay, can we continue with our meeting?
Charity C. Warren. So I just have a couple of questions. The first question is, what advances have been made regarding Wiles' demands? The second question is the Human Rights Commission working with the council directly, or is it just simply the mayor? The third question is, what steps has the council taken besides the creation of Mr. Anderson's committee, WONAC, regarding gender, race, and disabilities? Number 4, when will the council have an open forum with the mayor to include community members? Number 5, what efforts is the council making to get the mayor here? 6, what are the updates for the budget? When is the budget hearing going to be? I understand that you are still dependent on, the state of New Jersey to give you, some clearances and things like that. But what's going on? Is there any way to communicate those efforts with people? And then my last question is, what efforts has the council taken and put in place to help the township with COVID, especially with the students? I don't know if you all know what's happening with students, but there's not enough resources being given to them. And obviously, Weil is taking control of that situation. But I wonder, what is the council doing? So those are my questions, and you could use the rest of the time to answer them.
Can you repeat number 4?
Number 4 was, when will the council or part of the council have an open forum with the mayor to communicate with members of Weil and other community members about the demands? That's something that we've been asking for a very long time, and it still hasn't happened. So we want to know what efforts are being in place for that.
Oh, and you also, I'm sorry, the one that you mentioned about my committee.
Oh, I said, what steps has the council taken beyond WONAC, our committee, to talk about race, gender, disabilities, and other types of discrimination within this community?
Can you go one at a time again? Just start with
Okay.
one.
1, what advances have been made regarding Wiles' demands? So that's the first question.
Okay. May I, Council President?
Yes.
In regards to that, I know I said it the last time we had a meeting, but since that time, I know other council members have done this, but I requested a meeting with the domestic violence response team for somewhere along the line that came up. So I met with their 2 leaders privately and then with the business administrator and asked a lot of questions, gained a lot of knowledge, and that was directly associated to your demands from my perspective. Just today I requested a meeting, and again, this is just me, and people can speak for themselves. I requested a meeting with Dr. Nolan and the substance abuse response team. And I also requested a meeting to talk about the procedures for dealing with people with mental health. And those are things that you all, at some point, not necessarily just you, but the Wild Group brought up that just really registered with me and that I needed to gain more knowledge. So as I do that, I'd be happy to chat with anybody on it. It's fresh, I have tons of notes, but, from that perspective. Not just me, but other people, I believe, and maybe not, they can speak for themselves, but as much as I personally support our police, I am going to support the police whether there's a blue line on Main Street or not. I'm still going to support them. However, I recognize that it was a problem for a lot of people, so that I did voice my opinion that I respect the police. I know we have police here. I would say it anywhere. Those of you that know me, my son is a police officer, not in this town. But I did also recognize that it was hurting other people or hurting their feelings. So from the beginning, I thought that once the recognition of law enforcement was over, I thought we would move on. I'm a fan of supporting a lot of different groups personally. So I don't want to dominate this, but those are just a few little things that were prompted by your discussion, by your demand.
Okay. Is the Human Rights Commission working with the council?
The Human Rights Commission doesn't report to us per se. They don't work with us. They are their own entity. But whatever they're gonna meet with people and they're gonna talk about whatever the issues are, and then they are gonna report. I have Human Rights Commission on my agenda, so they're gonna report to the administration to see what else they can do as far as resources they can pull in order to address the issues that they've been brought up.
Okay.
And I will report whatever report they have. I will always report it during our council meetings, just for everybody's knowledge. The Human Rights Commission will always be on the agenda of the presiding council president.
Council President, I just want to, you mentioned besides me for the WONAC, I will say that there have been other council members who have approached me about coming on to the calls that we have weekly. And so I've been trying to arrange a schedule so that we can have them all on so that they can talk about how they can help in that capacity. So I will mention that there have been other council members that have asked about being on those Saturday morning meetings.
And then can you answer my last question about the mayor trying to get him to be here and respond to people? Because he's been avoiding a lot of people. Like, I've called multiple times, no response, emailed, no response, multiple people, no response. He hasn't been here. Like, what is the council doing to get this man to respond to people? Because he has an obligation to community members. So what are y'all doing to get this man to do the work he needs to do? Because this is literally some bullshit. That's what I'm saying. So
it's not mandatory for the mayor to be at our council meetings. We're here. We've expressed the request. You gotta stay in one spot. You can't keep moving back and forth, because that's what did it.
No, this is soft like the liberal. That's not my fault.
Just stay in one spot and record. You have a handheld device. You can stay in one spot. We can keep making the request known to him. That's as far as we can do. And then regarding the COVID-19 with the schools, that's an issue that you have to bring up to the Board of Ed. We don't make any decisions regarding our schools.
Not just the schools, just people in the community in general. That's what I'm talking about. Community involvement. What is the council doing to get involved in the community?
Council President, I just want to say, first of all, I want to congratulate you on a very successful backpack program that the WILE organization ran. I thought it was very commendable, and you reached out to the entire community with that. I think that, this is a very difficult time because there are parents that are considered essential employees that have to go back to work, and their children do not have a resource center where they can go and study. And I field those calls a lot at my office where parents are looking for resources. One of the things that I think that some of our neighbors are doing, some of our residents are doing very well, is this is forcing many of our neighbors to really reach out and rely on one another and connect. My former neighborhood, we all carpool together, so now we're seeing that a lot of families are getting together where they're rotating on who will have the kids to work at their home for Monday and who will have the kids to work at their home for Tuesday, so that, and this is, you know, it's times like these where we have to rely on one another. But I will say that the Edison Recreation Center, which used to be known as the Jewish Community Center, that is a place where kids can go, students can go for a resource center and go and learn while their parents are at work. And there are some gyms that are also accepting students as well, because you don't have to necessarily be a group leader or a teacher to supervise the kids while they're learning on their computer screen. There just has to be an internet and an open space, and obviously socially distant. But there are some businesses that are opening up their doors to students when their parents have to go back to work. I encourage people to seek those businesses out, but the one that I mentioned was the Recreation Center in Edison right now. I don't know, Mr. Simaluka, are our recreation centers doing anything?
Not at this time.
Okay.
Not at this time. They are open for childcare, so if someone wanted to register their children for childcare, they are. And we're doing it at the club at Woodbridge.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And then the budget, you never answered
You're,
that question.
I don't have any update on the budget as of now. Thank you.
Are there any other comments this evening from the
You didn't
public?
answer my questions, and I want to know why.
I'm sorry. We are going to the mic. We're going to talk on the mic for 5 minutes, and that's it. We're not going to keep disrupting the meeting. Everybody has 5 minutes. Say what you have to say, and then we move on to the next one.
It's okay.
If you have any other concerns, you can email us. You can email Councilman Anderson too, like everyone else emails us, okay?
Council President, just one thing along the line of what Councilman Anderson was saying. I just wanted to check on my email. The Raritan Bay YMCA in Perth Amboy is offering childcare during the day with the computer, so students have access to remote learning. So, Director, that might be something we consider, take a look at, and I'd certainly be happy to connect our director with the director of the Y in Perth Amboy to see how they formatted that.
Are there any other comments this evening from the public?
My name is Michelle, resident of Avenel. To be honest, I'm frustrated, exhausted, and irritated. And if you've been paying attention to this town lately, you'd understand why. Let's be honest, there's been no progress made. And when I say that, I'm talking about the unorganized and uncooperative Human Rights Commission and the mayor's administration at large. For 10 weeks, we've identified issues in our town's policing, presented solutions to rectify those issues, shared personal experiences and relived trauma through testimonies displaying the harms of the policing, supported both problems and solutions with countless successful examples, stats, and research. Unnecessarily had to debunk points made by your mayor in a video directed at us. We have quite literally done more than half of your job. We have put in countless hours of emotionally taxing labor and energy to see changes in this town, specifically with policing. And so when you reignite a commission that, according to them, is serving as a translator for us, I take that personally. What about what we're saying needs translation? While we may be young, we certainly do not need Glenn Morgan or anyone else acting as our translator, when last night they showed they don't even understand the rationale behind our demands, even though we've explained it to practically everyone for 3 months straight. So save me from all the talks of progress. This town has done nothing. We can't even do the easy part and put up performative and symbolic gestures. And that's why I and other countless residents are feeling the way we do. The all-appointed mayor's commission isn't going to cut it for me. He's been too coward to show his face here now for 6 meetings or so, or even reply back to me. The fact that he'd rather deal with his friends misinterpreting our demands than deal with us directly isn't leadership. In fact, it's disrespectful to me and other residents. We haven't heard a reason why he won't meet with us. And as you said, you've requested it, then why won't he show up? He's given zero sign that shows that he cares. He's ducking and is afraid. And he went on video to say that he's open to dialogue just to run to his own corner. He's praying and hoping that we'll go away. He's waiting for his one chance to vilify me and our group as a whole. But I realize it's he who's the true deterrent to progress now. See, I may be young, but again, I'm not foolish. He's going to police ceremony saying he won't defund the police. First, I must say there was no mask nor social distancing by the mayor, police chief, or the new police officers at that event. But we already know that they follow their own set of rules, part of the reason why our group is demanding stronger accountability measures. Second, I'd be shocked if he even knew what defunding meant, because despite us spelling out what a divestment and corresponding reinvestment to our community would look like, last night showed me the HRC has no idea what they're talking about, so I guess he doesn't either. Third, the audacity, saying the best town around, the best police force around. A town where a mayor can play hide and seek for 3 months is the best town around? A town that has one of the worst accountability rates in the state with policing is the best police force around? Like I said, I'm tired. Spare me the words and bring change. We didn't put 3 months of labor for the HRC to be such a flop and just smell like the mayor's own doing. The same mayor who can't even, again, say Black Lives Matter at a Black Lives Matter protest. And I'm tired of living in a town that moves at the pace of an outdated and, in my opinion, out-of-touch mayor. And you should all understand what's going on in countless other cities will inevitably find its way in this area. And you're fooling yourself if you don't think a powerful police force with no real accountability measures, a force with more Trump supporters than black officers, or a force with a historic reputation of striking fear to many black people isn't an accident waiting to happen. And if that moment comes, I hope you can sleep well knowing your inaction and reluctance to change enables it. Speaking up in this town is rare. I've yet to hear this whole council even condemn police brutality. I've yet to hear a resounding and unanimous show of solidarity for Black Lives ever. I wonder if you guys can all collectively denounce his flag as well. I spoke up in hopes of a better Woodbridge, and never would I expected that to mean receiving threats online or even hate while going grocery shopping. But it is what it is. If you come for me, please don't miss. Most of you have children that are my age. It seems like addressing you as council members is ineffective. Maybe the reference point of you as parents can help you understand. I just want to live freely. The same way your kids don't have to worry about deadly police encounters or fear of being berated while going grocery shopping is what I want to experience. The same way your kids are able to experience their summers without pleading for the town they grew up in to help them is what I want to experience. And the same way that your kids don't have to look over their shoulder constantly is the same I want to experience. I haven't given up hope, but my patience is running out. Last night, the HRC felt like an emotionally draining slap in the face, to be honest. And I realize asking for sympathy in this town may be seen as political, but maybe, just maybe, seeing another act of police violence in America recently showed you why we can't wait any longer. And maybe, just another one of these 5-minute speeches, which again isn't enough, will move one step closer to change and action. That's all I have to say.
Thank you.
Are there any other comments this evening?
Hello, my name is Victoria Birch. I'm from Colonia. Again, I normally don't prepare things. I wait to hear of any other new developments. Something that I got to see yesterday while coming into the Human Rights Council is that the blue line has been painted over teal for ovarian cancer. Again, I have no problem with the township showing support for additional causes. I just think that it's slightly convenient to be able to paint over something that was such a divisive statement for something that's obviously supposed to be unifying, instead of having the township have to take any accountability for having that statement up for longer than it was even supposed to be up. By not having to actively remove the Blue Lives Matter line or say anything about the township's stance on it as a divisive statement, they in turn get to make one and say that it didn't really matter enough. In addition to not having to actively remove that line, they didn't have to actively say that they support Black Lives Matter as a town. Either of those gestures would have been great, as opposed to just covering up the matter with a different shade of blue. Public recognition. I understand why the people of the Woodbridge Youth for Liberty and Equity are frustrated. They have done the work and the research, and they have told as much of their personal stories as they felt was necessary and it shouldn't have to be rehashed or reworded or re-examined for any of their individual experiences to seem valid. I hope that the work that they presented over the last 3 months would have meant something moving forward. Based off of what I saw yesterday at the Human Rights Council, it seems like we have a lot of work to do. And I am okay with this taking a long time. I am okay with progress having to take a while, but the recognition of it moving forward and the township recognizing the work that its citizens have done to help progress it would go a long way. Starting by having its mayor show up once in person. He was just in this building. I saw him leave. Where is he going? I don't know. That's just... And having the Human Rights Council, I understand that this is not a council meeting. I brought this up at the council meeting, the commission meeting, sorry, as well. If they are supposed to act as a translator, why can't the Woodbridge Youth for Liberty and Equity speak directly? Things get lost in translation. Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Are there any other comments this evening? Hearing no other comment, can I get a motion to close the public participation part of this meeting?
Motion.
Second. Any questions? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. We'll go into the agenda session.
Moving to my agenda portion of the meeting. I'm happy to announce that we had a successful KSB Back to School event. I would like to thank the Mayor, Councilman Bauer, Dan Harris, Meg Kushpa for all the help organizing this event. Also, the administration, Director Brew, and the Department of Public Works and Parks. I would like especially to thank AJ Surin and the Christ Assembly of God Church in Forts for the backpack donations. Thank you for supporting this event and helping us help the children go back to school. Hispanic Heritage Month, item number 8, will be Saturday, September 19th from 12 to 5 in Tasman Park. Come enjoy live music, some food, and learn about the Hispanic culture. Celebren con nosotros el mes de la herencia hispana el sábado 19 de septiembre de las 12 a las 5 de la tarde in Tasman Park, aquí en Woodbridge. Item number 10, the Free Public Library of Woodbridge. Woodbridge Public Library partners for ESL classes, Literacy New Jersey, will be holding all sessions online this fall. To register, call 732-906-5456 or visit www.literacynewjersey.org. Upcoming library programs by Zoom include coronavirus and your finances and reducing stress through meditation. Register for programs on the library online calendar at woodbridgelibrary.org and click on calendar. Instructions for attending a program by Zoom are also available. The library is happy to help anyone new to Zoom. Visit the libraries to get a library card during National Library Card Sign-Up Month. In addition to a great collection of print and electronic resources, Woodbridge Public Library lends Wi-Fi hotspots, a wireless print from anywhere service, printeron.com, and more for your academic, organization, and personal success. Visit the library homepage for more information or call the library at 732-634-4450, extension 5. Again, the Census 2020, we're asking everyone to please fill out your Census 2020 if you haven't done it today. Your response is completely confidential. Remember, your response means more money for schools, more jobs in our communities, and more funding for emergencies. Por favor, complete el formulario del Censo 2020. Sus respuestas son completamente confidenciales. Su respuesta significa más dinero para las escuelas, más empleos en nuestras comunidades y más fondos para la emergencia. Item number 16, the Human Rights Commission. I'm hopeful that with the Human Rights Commission, we could address a lot of the issues and come up with solutions. There's always hope, and I will always hold on to hope that we can do the right thing. The Human Rights Commission held their first public meeting last night and engaged in a back and forth discussion with many members of our community. Among topics discussed were the format of the newly formed committee and how each of the meetings will be executed. One goal of the HRC is to designate a topic of concern, assign it to a specific meeting date, and invite an expert from the appropriate township department to participate in an exchange with the Human Rights Commission and those who are present at the meeting. This type of forum will foster discussion and encourage cooperation and growth between township and constituents. The public brought forth other concerns such as disparities over race, gender, and sexual orientation, which are to be discussed more in depth with the Human Rights Commission. The Commission will continue to encourage a back and forth dialogue and further act as a liaison between the mayor and council and township constituents in regards to any addressed concerns. That is all that I have. Council Vice President Small.
Thank you, Madam President. Number 12 on my agenda, National Lands Day. The Township of Woodbridge will be holding our annual National Lands Public Day cleanup on Saturday, September 26th. Cleanup is from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m., followed by an annual party at the Ernie Oros Wildlife Preserve from 11:30 a.m. to 2 p.m. Join us in celebrating the ecology and biological I apologize, diversity of this unique landscape in which are home to more than 380 different wildlife species. Number 15, our Jazz Fest, October 10th, will be held at the Avenel Performing Arts. Danny Backer and his all-star band, Curtis Lundy, and the Emoji Band will be playing. Number 16, bear with me, this is our concert makeups. On Wednesday, September 2nd, Bandits on the Run, Chapin Sisters at 7:30. September 3rd, Revolver, 7:30. September 8th, Starman makeup for June 30th, 7:30. The 9th, Back to the Garden makeup for August 4th at 7:30. Shaman makeup from June 18th at 7:30. On the 13th, the Blue Meanies, new show at 7 p.m. On the 14th, Jesse Garin, Elvis, added show to the original schedule for Summerfest, 7 p.m. On September 15th, Saints in the City, added show originally scheduled for Summerfest, 7:30. September 16th, Shore Sounds, rescheduled from July 23rd, 7:30. September 17th, 9 South, rescheduled from June 25th, 7:30. Sunday, September 20th, Southern Steel, rescheduled from August 16th, 7 p.m. Wednesday, September 24th, Marty and the Martians, rescheduled from August 27th, 7:30. Just a couple of comments. I know it's a lot of buzz going around about the flags being taken down off Woodbridge Avenue. A lot of people are upset about it. Some people are happy about it. To the gentleman that took care of the flags for almost 20 years, I truly appreciate everything you've done. It meant a lot to me. But I am confident, maybe not in that location, but flags will fly again in this town. I want to thank all our police officers, firefighters, EMS, healthcare workers, and essential employees for all the work they've done. And God bless America. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you. Councilman Spiller.
Thank you, Council President De Jesus. Item number 2 on my agenda with the governor's announcement yesterday opening restaurants and theaters at a limited capacity. APAC, the Avenel Performing Arts Center, has scheduled a full list of shows. It starts October 1st with My Big Gay Italian Midlife Crisis with 8 shows. This series tends to sell out the entire theater, so I'm sure tickets will be flying with the limited capacity now. Come early and get a meal inside or sit on the patio at curtains. Speaking of curtains, outdoor concerts return to Avenel with the big stage set up outside curtains for live performances on Fridays and Saturdays. That started this past weekend. Check out the Township website for a list of performances. Item number 8, Avenel Fire Department. We're still planning on having our annual Fire Prevention Week open house at the Avenel Firehouse. That's on Saturday, October 10th from 10 to 1. We will be adhering to all social distancing and indoor requirements that will be in the time, at that time. We'll have our outdoor bounce house, we have our smoke trailer, all our equipment will be on display. Spark will be out for the little ones. Hope you can make it. As I said, it's normally a really great event, big day for Avenel, and we'll try to do the best we can with whatever guidelines might be in place. Item number 10, Woodbridge Developmental Center. Demolition has begun at the former Woodbridge Developmental Center. Just to refresh, future plans include a 1.2 million square foot warehouse and a 4-story medical office building. So good to see progress there. The rest of my agenda is in order. I have 2 announcements, Council President. I'd just like to say congratulations to Father Dave and all the parishioners at St. Andrew's Church as they celebrate their 100th anniversary next Sunday, September 13th. They had events planned, but decided to hold off until next year when they can properly celebrate the wonderful milestone. That's more personal for me. I'm kind of glad St. Andrew's is still up, because when I was an altar boy at 11, I lit too many of the charcoal briquettes for the incense and I set the rectory on fire. Father Gabriel wasn't happy. You remember him, Mr. Mitch, right? So congratulations to them. And I'd just like to say, back to school, all the kids, whether you're home or you went back to school, have a good year. and hopefully we can get closer to a sense of normalcy. So thank you. Be safe, be smart. God bless America.
Thank you. Today was the first day for Woodbridge teachers, support staff, and administration. So I would like to wish them a healthy, safe, and successful new school year. And the kids will go back to school on Thursday. So it's uncharted waters. I mean, we tried it in the spring, but it's a new normal, I guess, so to speak. So we wish everybody a great school year. Councilwoman Meehan, please.
Thank you, Council President. My item is in order. I'm just going to go down to item number 6 for the food banks. As the pandemic continues, there's a lot of families that still need help. People are out of work, people are hungry. So they really rely on the generosity and kindness of our community. So if you can, please stop by our health center. There's a big barrel outside, and they can use whatever you can drop off to help families. They're specifically requesting peanut butter, jelly, pasta sauce, canned pasta, canned fruit, cereal, tuna, soup, mac and cheese, and just those kind of things. And we really appreciate it. There's a lot of families that are struggling out there, and this is a time for us all to come together and work together. And I just wish all the teachers and the students and the parents, patients, and that they have a good school year and have a safe and happy Labor Day and social distance and take care of each other. That's all I have.
Thank you. Councilman Anderson.
Thank you, Council President. First, I would like to hold on item number 2. Item number 1, I will go to the Woodbridge Job Bank. The Woodbridge Center is searching for an administrative assistant to be a part of their management team. FedEx and Caseby is hiring right now $18.60 an hour. I know one person in the room that might be looking for a job. Duke Realty is looking for a local business interested.
It's Councilman Anderson's time. It's Councilman Anderson's time.
I'll yield my time.
Duke
don't have any
Realty
time
is
left.
looking
It's
for a
Councilman
local
Anderson's
business
time.
interested in bidding for various trades. And Woodbridge Realty also has positions, and as well as the Recreation Department for Woodbridge Township. I would also like to commend Speaker Coughlin for his vote with the change freeholder. The term freeholder in Middlesex County has been a term for a very long time. It was based on an old English term of used to refer to a person who owned land or real estate but was free of debt. And we know that that is tied to wealth. And we know that a lot of things in this land were tied to wealth. So freeholders will no longer be known as freeholders. They will be known as county commissioners. So I just want to commend all of those legislators who voted on that. Item number 15, I'd like to ask if you could change the Minority Community Relations Panel. The name has been changed, and that is to the Woodbridge Organization of Neighbors Advocating Change. And I'll send that to you in an email, Mr. Mitch. But they now have a mission statement. They have committees. And I do want to just address the one thing, because Mr. Christos continually brings us up about the School of New Brunswick. This is a decision that was made by the New Brunswick Board of Education. Old St. Peter's High School was purchased back in 2014 by the New Brunswick Board of Education. There's a K through 4 school there on a 1.75 acre property that the school was on. It had no parking, they had no playground, and it was directly across the street from Robert Wood Johnson. If you know that area, that school was no longer a neighborhood. Less than 50% of the students lived in that neighborhood of that school. Robert Wood Johnson had been looking at that property for a very long time, and they approached the New Brunswick Board of Education about turning it into a cancer center, and they purchased that school from them, which was approved by the New Brunswick Board of Education. They are then, in turn, going to, the students of that school are going to go to an existing school, which is known as the Pathways
Councilman
of
Anderson, can you
Technology.
give me a second, please? If you're going to disrupt the meeting with both of you back there, then I need you to leave. So can you please escort both of them out?
No, I started raising the
Both of them out, please, and thank you.
With zero integrity. You're a loser.
Both of them out, thank you.
I know where you park. No. Because you're a lady, I'm gonna walk out myself.
Thank you.
I respect that office.
Thank you.
You're lucky a woman's working today.
Thank you.
Anderson, you're a scumbag.
Thank you. Have a good evening, thank you. That's why I'm escorting both of you out. Both of you out. Thank you. Both of you out. Thank you.
Fuck you! This guy
Excuse me.
on Facebook. Mike Cisco from Puerto Rico. He says that on Facebook all the time. Say it right now. Calm down, little boy. Sit down.
This is why you guys want to make it first. I don't do that either. You can continue, Councilman
Thank you.
Anderson.
And I just wanted to make it clear that this was a decision of the New Brunswick Board of Education. And they have purchased, not only purchased that, but they are building a school for those students for free. While the school is being built for them, they will be housed in the Pathways of Technology School, which is a federally funded school for students of high school age, but it was a corporate property. They are not going to get cancer. This school property was remediated so that students can go there. Students have now been going there for 2 years. Then they will then be moved to a campus with 4.5 acres, and they will have playground, they will have state-of-the-art school, and they will have ample parking. And they will be in a neighborhood where the students, more of the students live. This was a decision by the New Brunswick Board of Education. My office as Executive County Superintendent, I am in between that decision and the Department of Education. I review the land acquisition, the land disposition, the land acquisition, the land disposal that they're getting rid of, and the actual architectural drawings of all the school. After months of review, we agreed with the New Brunswick Board of Education, and we sent it to the Department of Education for their consideration. At no time did we make the decision in my office to get rid of that school. That was a decision by the New Brunswick residents and the New Brunswick Board of Education. And in that time, I have continuously reached out to the residents of Woodbridge, of New Brunswick, and I have received one phone call which was returned, and we spoke to that resident. So either they're content with the decision or I'm missing something. But Mr. Christos, who claims to be advocating for them and calling me a racist while holding a racist flag while I was speaking, just speaks for himself. And I'm sorry I lost my composure about someone needing a job. Okay. And that's all I have.
Thank you. Councilman Ficarra?
Thank you, Council President. I just want to make it clear, because I'm standing right here and heard this guy, Christo, he threatened Councilman Anderson by saying he knows where his car is. So I want that to be public. I want the councilman protected when he goes out to his car. My agenda items are rather light when you consider what we've been going through. Both the community center here in Woodbridge and the club at Woodbridge are both open for its members, and any new members that want to come in and take a tour. Masks, of course, are required, social distancing guidelines, but the pool and group fitness is open according to the regulations that are set forth. So a little step getting back to some kind of normalcy as it relates to physical fitness and wellness. An announcement for this Sunday, September the 6th, good news and bad news. Using the social distance guidelines, we will be having our Crossroads race this Sunday, starting at 9 a.m. Check-in is at 8 a.m. And it's a 5K only, not the traditional 10K and 5K. The bad news is it's all sold out. So I just wanted to bring those up. And for everyone that worked hard to bring our country to where it is, and I know we certainly can improve, we do celebrate the people that labored hard to make these United States. So happy Labor Day to everyone, and please be safe.
Thank you. Councilman Patel?
Yeah, thank you, Council President. My agenda is in order, but I have one announcement. This is from the Middlesex County Department of Transportation, Office of Public Works. There is going to be a reconstruction project coming up on Oak Tree Road between Wood Avenue and the Parkway Bridge. This resurfacing, restriping project is going to start next week on Tuesday, that's September 8th. And is expected to go for another like 4 or 5 days. The time between this resurfacing will be 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. and there is going to be some traffic disruption. So just be careful when you are in the area next week from September 8th to September 11th. That's all for tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Bauer?
Thank you, Council President. My agenda is in order. A few announcements tonight. Just a reminder again, I mentioned this last meeting, that the bike lanes throughout Hope Lawn are coming soon. Biking is an important facet of mobility, economic development, public health, and environmental sustainability. Improving the connectivity of biking throughout the township will provide more direct, convenient, and safe travel routes, plus encourage cycling as a mode of transportation. A letter was recently sent out to the Hope Lawn residents publicizing the advantage of bike lanes in this area. Ford's Clara Barn Baseball Leagues, actually they're playing fall baseball. Registration is now open. Players ages 7 to 12 can participate. For more information or to register online, visit www.leaguelineup.com. FCBBL. Season starts on September 14th. And back to the KSB backpack school supplies. I'd like to thank Council President De Jesus, Board Member Dan Harris, the Mayor, and not only Elizabeth herself, but her family. It's a family event. Her family takes time out of their day to come to volunteer to help the community. And I just like to thank Elizabeth and her family for all they do for the township over. Thanks again.
Mr.
That's all I have tonight.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Madam President. Under number 1, letter B, I'll note from my agenda you approved the corporate structure change for Shri Balaji Enterprises this evening. I did add letter C since we last met, liquor license transfer. That'll be reviewed by the police department. Make a recommendation from Margie's Bar and Grill to Jersey Pizza Boys Bar and Grill at 147, 149 Avenel Street. Number 2, as I indicated at the last meeting, please just make note of October 6th. You do have a disciplinary hearing against an establishment in town, but I also have on the 23rd a pre-conference hearing if we come to terms prior, working out with Councilman Ficarra, will advise council accordingly. Under number 5, there are some changes to the general election for November the 3rd. Again, I mentioned this at our last meeting. The most significant, probably at this point now, is we're going to add an additional location to the list of 10 places we had in July. It appears, I know it's challenged, it's being challenged, but I'm not sure yet where we're going with it, but it appears voters will be able to take their mail-in ballots to the polling location. It's never been allowed before, but that's a possibility, so I'm waiting weekly on phone calls with the county. I'll learn more. TV 35 is already agreed. We're going to do a promo like we did for July because of the changes, so the residents will know exactly what's going to be happening here. So that'll come out in probably late September. The last item, too, I just want to make a quick comment about the Census 2020 because the 30th is the last day of the month to be counted. I want to thank Megan, obviously yourself, and Howie for going Sunday. I think it was just a week ago where I said to Megan, why don't you put together this chalk event, adding the ice cream, and by all accounts, she had told me that you had a couple hundred people there, and with your backpack campaigns, it would seem very successful. The Census folks had already emailed the town saying they believe it was a very successful event, so that's good for us.
I just want to clarify that they came, got backpacks, went to the census table, got their ice cream, and left. So yes, I had over 100 families come and grab the school supplies, but they didn't stay in one place, and everybody social distance, and everybody had a mask.
Great.
And that's one of the things that I forgot to mention the principal from School 25, Mr. Brownsdorf. He was there, and one of the things that he noticed, as opposed to last year, where everybody kind of stayed and hung out for the time that we were there, the families were coming, getting their school supplies, getting their ice cream, and then going back home. So I was very happy with the Granted, we kind of planned it late, and it was a week of planning, but it came through, so God is good.
And you had nice weather.
I did. We did have
Mr. Mitch,
really, really good
I'd
weather.
like forgotten to thank the KSB Fire Department. They
Yes.
come out every year, support this event, and just like to thank them for all they do for our township, too.
Yeah.
All our first responders, thank you.
And I know that people are going to have questions, why KSB? And the reason why KSB is because when I took office, the KSB section that we target, it's predominantly Hispanic Latinos, and it's hard to get to where they are, and they don't have a lot of community outreach. And I made a promise that I would go there every year. So I try to keep my promise every year and go listen to the concerns and try to help them out as much as we can.
And also to dovetail on that, the response rate for that area of the township was low, and we needed to increase that number as
Definitely.
well. So that's why we kind of, the census, we kind of threw it on
Yep.
your event, so
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you. Business Administrator Simaluka.
Thank you, Council President. Under Administration and Finance, I have a refund for overpayment of taxes, I have a refund for parking, I have a county tax appeal collection, cancellation, forgive me. Under Police, I have a traffic ordinance amendment. Under Health, I have refunds for events. Under Planning and Development, I have a refund for the current fund. And for next meeting, I'll have for your approval the downtown SID budgets for both Oak Tree Road and Main Street. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you. Legal? And one other thing, we did have extra backpacks and stuff, but I started last year with donating the extra backpack to the Title I schools, because the teachers, the counselors, and the principals, they know their school communities better than I do, so they can give them to those in need. So I'm happy to say that this year, we'll be able to hit all Title I schools in our district. And that is all that I have.
I get a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Second?
Thank you.
Meeting adjourned. Thank you.